Oh, I should have grabbed water. Whatever.
I grabbed coffee in my JTN cup. It's too hot to hold.
Not a mug. It's a cup.
Not a mug.
If only there was some sort of like
handle
extrusion on it that you could grab onto. I don't know what they would call that though.
You're really onto something there. I feel like it could make like here. Check this out. I'll hold up the cup that I have. I feel like you could make it look like a
yeah. Honestly, like
C.
That
like
shape is already on. I was thinking something like this. Ignore my little Lego guy that fell into it. I was thinking something like this. Probably.
Oh, what is that? What is that?
This is the Fake Racers podcast mug available on the JTN store.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah, all I have is this Fake Racers podcast cup. I wish it had I wish someone invented a handle for it.
Yeah, someone should do that.
You know, the worst part about your cup, Davey, is that that's not even the actual cup that's on the store. That's a prototype.
Really?
Yeah, the cup on the store is like a pint-sized glass, and it's see-through. It's transparent or I don't know. Glass is considered translucent. But...
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish my cup. I wish it had a. I wish. Does that one have a handle?
No, that one's for cool drinks. But it's purposely built like that. Like that, the one that you have is for hot drinks, so you need a handle.
Oh, yeah, I do need it, but it doesn't have one, so I hold it with a napkin.
Yeah.
From my fast food restaurant.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Tell you what, love me some good old. I love a good. It's hot. I love a good cup of Joe.
Beaver's gonna make me make a T-shirt with like a coffee cup and our two faces in the coffee cup. It's gonna be weird.
Cup of Joes.
Or on the cup.
Cup of Joes.
Yo. We're still in the open, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm trying to not make comments that'll get bleeped.
This is a weird way to start this episode.
How was the biking?
It was fun. I've never ridden a paved track before, so that was weird. Also, the track was really long, and most of the starting gates are just like metal tracks and then a big piece of metal with like an air cylinder, and it just releases and drops. This one was electric powered, and it like rolled down into the ground, and it was super quiet, so it was super trippy because when they go on the starts, it's like random, so it'll start beeping, and then at the end of that, that's when the gate drops. I go when I hear the air release from the cylinder. But you couldn't do that with an electric one because it's almost entirely quiet. So I had to just be like, all right, well, I'm going to go when it starts beeping, and hopefully the gate's not there when I get there. It was fun, though. It was super windy. Track was cool. It was a good time. But we basically drove an hour and a half to go get our asses whooped, so that was fun.
Yeah.
That's how the wind
Had that
blows.
happen before.
Yeah. My nephew, my 6-year-old nephew had 22 kids in his class. I had 3.
Oh man.
So
I did a street race, and I believe it's pronounced Inverness, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's a street race in Inverness, Florida. That is, I'm trying to see how far away it was from me. It was a 3-hour drive down to Inverness, Florida. Street race, whole town was out for it. Really cool. Went out for first practice, wadded it up.
Oh jeez.
Totally wadded it up. Spent all day up until the first heat repairing it. We were still nutting and bolting it coming to the grid. And yeah, that was a fun. I mean, that was like 3 or 4 hours of we like it bent the tie rod and it put like the tie rod looked like this, and the spindle like folded on itself. I don't know how much of that you heard. It was bad. So like we had to go and borrow a hammer from someone to smack it straight for like an hour, and then got it all back together. And we were nutting and bolting it all the way up to the grid. And I think we ran like, I forget what we ran in the heat, but we ran like 4th or 5th in the feature. It was like 20 some odd carts there that day. It was awesome in front of a big crowd. It was a good day. Yes. But it was not good after we wadded it up and wrecked it because we thought we were going to go home.
Yeah.
It was great.
My dad was super paranoid that we were all just going to get messed up on pavement, so he spent like $200 buying all of us pads. So he bought like my brother and I like elbow pads, and he bought my nephew like full body armor and everything. And my brother's sitting there like putting them on, and I was like, so we can just like beat him up now, right?
Basically.
So, yeah. So, good
Sounds fun though.
It was a good time.
I love that a day out at the racetrack is kind of the same no matter what you're doing. I love that. I think it's cool.
Should I tell the story of what the guys who were talking about, or what the guys in the chutes next to me were talking about?
Do it.
So I get up. So I was Moto 76, class 2635 intermediate, and I get up there and they're like Moto 75, 2635 inter, and I'm like, oh shit, leave that out.
It's okay.
Like,
I'm not going
guess
to.
I'm getting bumped up a moto. Okay, and so I get into the chutes or whatever, and right beside me is like 17 to 25 expert or whatever, all that class, and it's a couple dudes, and they're just sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, did you guys get bumped up too?" Because like half of their gate was just missing, and I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Man, I don't know why they did that." Or no, I mentioned, I was like, "Yeah, we all got bumped up. I don't know what the deal with that is." And the guy's like, "Yeah, like they probably like shower naked or something. Like who does that? Like at least wear some socks or something." And so like we're joking about that, and then the same guy, now keep in mind he's wearing like chrome lensed goggles, so I can't even see his face. And I'm just hearing like just jokes rolling out from behind this guy's helmet, and they start talking about, he's like, "Oh dude, I gotta poop so bad right now, like, oh, why did I wait?" And then like the guy in the chute to my left is like, "Hey man, whatever gets you to the finish line faster, you know." And he's like, "Dude, the gate's gonna drop and I'm just gonna go right then." And then it turns out afterwards, I found out that guy is on a team with my brother and my nephew, so probably going to be seeing him around sometime.
Good. That's cool.
I was like, all right, cool.
It.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it was a good time. It's funny because like whenever I race, I get like way too in my head. So I was so pumped for that because I was like, man, it's a state qualifier race. I'm all stressed out, and then I get up there and the guys are just joking, and I'm like, all right, cool. I feel loose now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It was a good time.
All right, no shortage of things to talk about. Let's roll into this one.
Welcome to the Fake Racers podcast. As always, we're here talking stuff, automotive racing stuff. To my left on your screen is Mr. Davey Hazard.
That's me.
And down in the bottom, all by his lonesome, Mr. Matthew Steelman.
That's me.
And if you're listening to us on audio only, everything that I just said made absolutely no sense, and I appreciate you for sticking through it.
Well, not if I get over here, because now it's only in your left ear. So
that's messed up. That's messed up, man.
Actually, I don't know if this microphone's that good.
No, it did. I could feel a little bit of a shift. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you've made it, we're about 7 minutes deep. 8 minutes deep. You did it.
Yeah, it's good. We picked a good episode to have a really long cold opening when we actually have stuff to talk about.
I mean, it's okay. That's pretty standard. But
we'll run through it.
Let's dive right into it. NASCAR was at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. ASS, as it is acronym, as most want to call it, the Atlanta Super Speedway.
Yeah.
Wait, who won on? I forget who won on Sunday. They didn't really talk about him a lot.
Yeah. Or his hometown at all either.
Yeah. So
or his fans.
So Chase
obviously. Did he even have any fans? This guy. Like,
a lot of those people looked like they were forced to be there. I don't know, man. It was weird. It was
kind of cultish. It was weird. Didn't like it.
But Chase Elliott obviously wins at Atlanta. Fastest car all day, deserving of the victory. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's getting lost in kind of people being upset with Chase winning, which is fair, I guess. I never wanted to give Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon or Kevin Harvick credit when they dominated a race and won. I didn't, cheer for those guys. So the ending of the race, obviously Corey LaJoie is up front for the probably last quarter of the event. They do a pretty good call on pit lane, the last stop I think they didn't take any tires. They just put fuel in it, got track position, got out front, stayed up front the rest of the race. Restarted with the lead there with, was it a 2? Was it green, white, checkered, or was it 3 to go?
I think it was like 3 or 4 laps.
It was,
yeah,
I think it was 3.
It wasn't overtime. That's all that's important. And you're going down into turn 1 on... so Chase makes the pass, going through, 3 and 4? I think he in 1 and 2.
I think he got the run like down the backstretch and did it in 3 and 4. Okay. I think is what it was.
So Chase gets the lead coming down the front straightaway. LaJoie does a good job of backing up to Eric Jones, who is sitting in third. I don't know if Jones was trying to pass him or not. Doesn't matter because he gives a heck of a shove to Corey LaJoie. Corey LaJoie has all the momentum, tries to pass on the outside. Chase blocks the run. There's a lot of controversy there. What's a good block? What's a bad block? Good blocks win you races. Chase won. Bad blocks wreck race cars. That also happened.
Yeah. I mean, we're now getting into the thing that we come back to all the time with oval racing is like, what is acceptable? What isn't acceptable? Like, where's the line? You know, what are we willing to accept as this is going to sound weird. What are we willing to accept as an acceptable amount of aggression to win a race? We come back to this all the time in oval racing and fendered cars, and it's a debate that'll probably go on until NASCAR gets sanctioned by the FIA, which is never going to happen. So it's going to go on forever. Like, I don't know. And you know, is there a right or how about let's start with this? Is there a right or wrong viewpoint on this, Joe?
On this specific incident?
Unlike this incident.
I don't. I think there's people that will say that. I don't think that because it comes down to, again, your personal choice of what are you willing to take. There's a lot of people out there that probably would say that wrecking a guy to win a race isn't acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Did Chase wreck a guy to win the race? That can be debated.
Yeah,
he definitely put Corey LaJoie in a position where he was either going to wreck or back off and lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Corey isn't going to back off. He shouldn't. No driver should. I don't know. I don't. There. It's not cut and dry like a lot of folks want to make it out to be.
Well, I think intent matters also. Because
be careful.
I'm not saying Chase intended to run him in the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe intent. Maybe intent's not the right word. But what I mean is, like, let's go back to when Chase was on the other side of that, which was Auto Club this year, and in the immediate aftermath, Kyle Larson was like, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. That was a mistake on my part. And then we fast forward to now, and Chase Elliott's like, yeah, I did that. It's like, okay, Kyle Larson got absolutely drugged through the mud for that wreck, but I feel like people haven't really held on to that as much as people are probably going to hold on to this. Not to mention that Chase has a history of already doing this at plate tracks. So, I don't know. I think that's the thing that upsets me about it, is just like the reckless abandon of it and just not even caring.
Yeah, the context of it, I think, is kind of like no, and I get that, I don't disagree either. I also, at the same time, like, I go back and I rewatch that replay, and it's like, yeah, Corey didn't have as much on him as I thought he did at first, but also, you know, he still, like Joe said, he put him in a position where Corey LaJoie had to either let off and let Chase go, or he was going to get wrecked. And short-sighted or not, good idea or not, he decided to get himself wrecked. And
Corey made the right decision.
I
100 out of 100
agree.
times. I don't think I think we'd be talking about this a lot differently. Think about how we talked about Eric Jones at Talladega earlier this year. Guess what? We don't. That was a situation where I don't think he was aggressive enough.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
In LaJoie's case, it's his only shot to make the playoffs. I believe he currently sits 31st or 29th in points, so like he's still gonna kind of be on the cut line. So it was a big. He'd have a big points day. Because I think Kozlowski might be the 30th guy right now. I think.
Correct. He's 44 points behind Kozlowski for 30th.
So he would have had a big points day because Brad did not finish well. He still would have had to continue to have good points days, but we got 2 road courses coming up, so stage points and all that, right? All that.
Yeah.
And 16 winners, but
it credit to Chase Elliott too. The one thing I'll kind of like concede, besides having a fast car race, was the move for the lead was very good.
Yeah.
He had been getting that run down the front straightaway and then diving low at the exit of the dog leg. Didn't do it that time, and Corey went to defend it. Really smart spotting by Corey Corey's spotter and smart driving by Corey to listen and recognize the move that was probably going to happen. But even then, really heads up by Chase to switch it up at that moment in particular is really good. Makes me wonder what would have happened if Corey went low into one instead of trying to commit high. But these things, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, I will say I was very impressed with how Corey drove at the end of that too, because a lot of the time when you see these kind of underdogs get up front at the end of these plate races, you kind of get that sense that they don't really know what to do in a lot of the situations. I don't think Corey really did anything wrong in those last few laps. He was just unfortunately the one who got run into the wall.
He just made the final wrong move.
Yeah,
everything else up to that was perfect.
What I loved though is how he held himself at the end of that race. One, he was going for it. He wasn't just going to accept a good points day. He wanted to win. And two, in a situation like that where you're Spire and you've brought probably your best car that you've ever brought to a track, and you have one of the best runs in your history of being a team, and then it all goes to hell on the last lap like that. It's so easy, I bet, for that entire team and crew chief and crew and everybody to get so upset about it. And the way Corey was just like, yeah, whatever, man. We'll just move on, and kind of keeping the spirits up. I really like that. Because it could have been very easy for him to go on TV and go, oh, woe is me. We got screwed over at the end of this race, but he didn't. That.
And even then, it would have been warranted if he did too.
Yeah,
no one would have thought different. No one would look twice at it. What's up, Joe? What you looking at?
I was just gonna say it'd be kind of almost career suicide at that point to say those types of things about the most popular driver in the sport. We've seen it before.
That's the other thing too. Is it's
the other thing.
Chase Elliott,
put it in context completely.
The most popular driver at his home track.
Yeah,
that's a fair point that I didn't consider.
Yeah.
You always got there's sponsorships. Spire obviously has an alliance of some sorts with Hendrick. Obviously, I don't think it's as strong as Spire folks would like, but there is an alliance there.
I mean, their truck has had pretty much all of Hendrick's drivers in it this year, so
yeah.
If for Corey, obviously, it's a really good run. He's always been good at these tracks. He's always knows how to get to be in position at the end. It's disappointing for his team. You hit the nail on the head there, but I don't know. I don't like this whole debate about this being one of those situations where people are trying to say Chase threw a bad block. He won the race. There's a difference between what Chase did this year and what Chase did at Daytona last year, or what Joey Logano did in the 500 last year, or all these you can go down the list. Chase did put himself in a situation. I'll put it like this: Chase didn't put himself in a situation where if Corey decides to do what he did, Chase is getting wrecked as well. Whereas, at Daytona last year he did, or the Logano incident, Logano put himself in a situation, hey, Brad doesn't let up, we're both wrecking.
Yeah.
So that's where I go with the good block, bad block thing. If you get wrecked, it's definitely a bad block.
Because I think people confuse the term blocking with
ooh, you're a ne'er-do-well.
Well, a block. What I mean is if some people think a regular block isn't aggressive, and a block is an aggressive move regardless of any other context. So good block versus bad block. I think a good block is defensive driving, which is totally different. I think a good block is running the defensive line into a turn. When a good block it is technically what Chase did. It's also still really aggressive, still not always the right or good thing to do. But we're arguing semantics at that point. But we're gonna
Bad doesn't mean over aggressive, is what you're saying.
I guess
it's usually an over aggressive.
Let's talk about someone who is over aggressive.
Real quick.
We all know.
Real quick. I don't.
Everyone knows.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Pool hall.
Dude, do I even have to bring a thumb up? I don't. I don't want a thumb to be used.
Rut, man. He gets associated with all this stuff, and man's a cool guy. And
I just thought of a video I need to make.
Rutt is he's so misutilized.
Yeah.
As a TV guy, because he's actually a really the guy knows more about cars than anyone I've ever seen on TV, and genuinely loves the sport. And they're like, "Hey, Rut, go be funny with all these people who don't want to talk to you." And
Which,
it's like, okay,
by his own admission, he likes doing. So
that's fair.
but
does no other driver have a sports bar they used to hang out at? Why is Chase Elliott's the only one that gets any publicity?
because the siren.
It's a siren.
I'm gonna open up one in Elk Grove and just be really obnoxious every time Kyle Larson
wins.
Yeah.
Speaking of obnoxious,
Just play a. Oh, I was gonna say it bad. Never mind. It wouldn't be funny without it.
Speaking of obnoxious,
it was gonna be really funny with it.
Ross Chastain continues to be obnoxious on the racetrack. I will continue to say don't change, but you have to be willing to deal with the repercussions.
It's not even
It's as simple as that.
It's not even aggression. It's just boneheaded stuff. Somebody was mentioning it. It's the same thing that when Todd Gilliland used to be in the truck series with KBM, and he would just lay into people's bumpers and then they'd get loose and he just wouldn't let off, and then he would wreck them every time. And it's like Ross is doing the same thing to Truex this race, and it's like, oh my god, this is like play racing 101. You don't bump draft in the corners. Oh my god. Stupid. It's frustrating because I love Ross. God.
Ross Chastain. I agree with Joe. I'm about to sneeze, so this is going to be interrupted. Don't change. But you gotta. This is where. Why can't I sneeze? This is where a veteran of the sport would normally come in. Like we always talk about, there's no one that has that presence. This is where you can throw
it's not good when Jeff Burton's openly criticizing you.
That's
on
what
TV.
I was gonna say. Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton got his ass, dude. He was on him.
Yeah.
Oh good. Man, it was
dude.
Good.
Burton's been on a heater this year because just like what he said about Gragson last week.
NBC as a whole has been throwing just they have been on one.
The punches are not being held anymore.
No, they are not, and I love it. I love Jeff Burton for it because he is telling it like it is. I mean, and that's what a competitor who would be respected in the garage area would need to say to Ross right now. This is where someone would step in and be like, "Hey, listen.
I think
you don't gotta do what you do."
I've done some thinking on this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said chill. That's literally all I had to say.
Chill.
I've done some thinking on this because this continues to come up about locker room leaders and blah 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 blah. Social media, I think, plays such a big part. How many times have you seen Denny Hamlin send out a snarky tweet and then try to act like he's the locker room leader on TV? How many times stuff like that? You can't do both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a time where Keselowski was trying to be vocal, but then he'd say stupid stuff on Twitter. Kyle Busch has done stupid stuff on Twitter. Like these veterans, the young guys are doing stupid stuff on Twitter. Like everyone's doing stupid stuff on Twitter. You're doing stupid stuff. I'm doing stupid. We're all doing stupid stuff.
That's like the entire premise of my Twitter is that it's stupid.
So, I think sometimes for some folks, it's probably hard to take it seriously when Denny Hamlin's angry at you and he's not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe yell at you on Twitter.
And there are so many other guys in the sport right now in the Cup Series who I feel like could get like there are veterans in the sport right now. Like Kevin Harvick is a veteran in the sport. I don't think anyone would listen to him.
Yeah,
no,
because they just see him as a crotchety old man, and I don't think he wants to be that guy either. I don't think he wants to be the guy that. He's almost out of there. He doesn't want to be the guy that's like grabbing Ross Chastain by the ears and saying, "Hey, don't do that." Like who left would do that? Because we're certainly not going to get that out of a Chase Elliott or a Kyle Larson because they don't care. I don't care what you say. They don't care about this. This is their job. This is what makes them money. What's up, Joe?
I was agreeing.
Okay, yeah, you look sad, but that makes sense that you would be sad about that. They don't care. I can't Alex Bowman's not going to do that. Like guys who have been in the sport for a few years now, who's even
a veteran?
The only guy I can think of,
Giuliano, no
Truex.
one's. Yeah, no.
Kyle Busch.
The only other guy I can think of is Blaney, and Blaney's always just kind of seemed like a pushover to me. So I can't see Blaney, being the sheriff of the garage.
Blaney is too nice.
Yeah, he's too nice.
I wouldn't even necessarily say pushover. He just doesn't. He doesn't get in, and he doesn't like. He's just kind of there as far as like presence on the racetrack.
He's an all-star.
No, he's very good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying stylistically as a driver and as a personality, he's not going to insert himself.
Yeah.
And I don't think there are a lot of drivers anymore who would.
I'm looking through the point standings right now.
You're not going to find one.
Eric Almirola, maybe?
You're not going to find one. You're just not.
Honestly, if Almirola wasn't retiring, I could say he might be.
Apparently, he's not retiring. So
yeah. Well, yeah. Those
Who knows, bro? Who knows?
But yeah, it's the Ross Chastain stuff. It's a head scratcher.
Yes.
He's got championship winning speed, and it seems like he's gonna blow it because he can't get out of the 25th to 35th place racing mentality.
Yeah.
Where you have to be aggressive like that to make passes because everyone's so equal. Sometimes it's okay to let the car do the work.
Yep.
It's a shame, and like
I don't know if it's a shame. That's the connotation that comes with that's a little harsh.
I was talking about something else. Sorry, I was going back to what we were just talking about with like who could fill the role of the guy who's going to do a thing, and like Denny Hamlin is the only viable one, but like it's hard to be that guy when
and
you
an owner.
And an owner, and you like are also like kind of I'll put it in a way that's nice because I don't mind Denny Hamlin. He's kind of young at heart. He's gonna snap back at people.
Yeah.
He's still got that in him. He's not like
dog in him.
He's still got a little bit of that dog in him. He's not like Rusty Wallace in the late '90s, where like, yeah, his driving days are over, but he's still in it. He's still getting it, and he's like the guy. Not he's still Denny Hamlin's still very much like chopping at the bit to get into some stuff, but that leads to not being able to command the group of drivers as much because they you're still actively snapping back at them sometimes.
I will say guys like Briscoe and Harrison Burton give me hope that I'm like, okay, we can still have some kind of level-headed guys coming up through the ranks still.
Harrison Burton's going to have to find a way to stay in the Cup Series, but I don't disagree.
He's got to go a little faster, but
I don't disagree with you. But I
he
see
was
what you
doing
mean.
a good job this weekend.
Yeah.
He was
First
up
top
there.
10.
He was up there.
First career top 10.
Top 10. He ran well. Genuinely.
I like Harrison a lot. So
he gets a little too much thrown at him because I believe it's a new crew chief too. Or no, that's it's Cindric's crew chief, right, from last year in Xfinity, isn't it? Brian Wilson. Oh, it's 21.
Let me see.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's Cup crew chief. New to Cup crew chief.
Yeah, but the other thing to remember, he's 21 and he's also driving for a small single car family owned team in the first year of like the most revolutionary car that NASCAR's ever had.
Yeah, but I don't buy into that single car. They build their cars back in the shop in Virginia, like they're Penske prepared cars at this point.
Yeah, but it's not a Penske team. It still takes a good team to get that car to run well. That's what I'm saying.
Who do you think hired probably most of the engineers on the 21 team, including the crew chief?
I don't know, because I'm not an employee at Wood Brothers.
Someone Roger Penske delegated to do that for the Wood Brothers.
I'm just saying.
I'm just the
Haas before Stewart showed up. I'm just saying Haas before Stewart showed up had a literal brand new Hendrick stuff and ran like garbage every week because they didn't have the right people in the right places. Just because you have good equipment doesn't mean you're going to run well every time.
No one's.
I would like to gesture. And I know this isn't a direct comparison. I'm not saying about equipment, but I'd like to gesture very vaguely over at the Gibbs camp and the pit crew problems that we've had recently. It's all people. I mean, it makes sense. Just because it's Gibbs and it's high class and they have the best pit crews on like two of their teams doesn't mean that their whole pool of pit crew members who they are going to lease out to these two Toyota teams. Like, I know this is different context. I get it, but like it's the same premise. I see what Matt's saying.
I wasn't trying to say like, oh, the 21 team, they should be winning races. I was just saying that like there's a lot of Penske there. It's a development team for a reason.
Oh no, I know. They should be running better, but
yeah,
for whatever reason they're not.
It's a development team for a reason, but it's also a development team for a reason.
Yeah. Look at us. Circular arguments. Xfinity Series. Austin Hill won. It was a boring
Speaking
race.
of going in circles.
I thought it was a really boring race.
Yeah,
speaking of circular arguments.
Didn't enjoy it.
The Xfinity cars in full throttle-ish environments have always sucked, so I'm not really surprised.
Yeah.
Maybe Xfinity should go to Mid-Ohio and the truck should be at Atlanta for that second weekend. Adding another road course to the Xfinity Series schedule.
It sounded like you were making a meme for a second there, but I don't think you're too crazy for that.
No, I'm not. I know I'm not.
That's not a bad idea.
It'll never happen though because it's a SMI owned date and they'd have to get a kickback somewhere and NASCAR would lose a bid. Blah, 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 blah. It shouldn't matter in the end, but it does.
Yeah,
Jesse Woodgie
wasn't a great race though.
No, Jesse Woodgie spun on lap 2.5.
Never change.
Someone needs to tell him to just let someone else drive his car. It's okay to be an owner in the sport that you love. You don't have to.
You still race late models.
God, we're hitting like every.
Can't do any worse.
We're hitting like every frequent Fake Racers podcast topic this week, which is
really
Chase Elliott doing something dumb, Ross Chastain doing something dumb, who's the real leader in the garage, Jesse Uji spinning out 1,000 times.
There's 39 entries this week too, and he's on the entry list. So
of course he is.
No. Remember the speculation was that he had that military service because there was more than 38 cars on the entry list.
Yeah.
There's 39 cars this weekend because Byron's in the 88. Trucks. We're in Mid-Ohio. While Ohio, I will admit, is the worst state in the union. I will admit that.
There's another one of our frequent ones, Joe talking shit about Ohio.
Something good did happen. Davey, would you like to tell the fans at home what happened?
Baby! Come on! Race winner, baby! That's what I'm talking about! I knew! You always know. That's why
There we go.
That's why Parker Kligerman deserves better. Always.
Dude, I really hope the rumors of Henderson going full-time next year actually becomes a thing.
They said they'd like to.
Yeah.
I want that race to win diecast, but it's probably not going to be made.
It might.
It probably not.
Probably not, but it should.
Because everyone hates me. Life hates me. The world hates me. No one wants to see me up.
Obviously, that finish was really good. It was not Truck Series-esque. I think it helps to have a guy that probably should have been in the Cup Series this year, running second, to a guy that should be in the Xfinity Series this year. Right? Hey, we've talked about the whole Zane Smith to the one car pre-Trackhouse thing before. Zane Smith is probably Cup ready more than probably just as much as a Noah Gragson, John Hunter Nemechek, who's already been there. Like he's on that level in my opinion.
Which is crazy because he hasn't even run Xfinity yet.
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Yeah, he ran for JRM.
I have no memory of this.
Yep.
Well, he hasn't run full time. You go.
Yeah. No, I got what you were saying. I got your drift, but I just wanted to make sure you were drifting in the right way. You know,
picking up what I'm laying down.
Yep.
Yeah. I did. How about that?
So, Zane's got experience. It was a very classy finish. He talked about how Parker pushed him to the win at Daytona. I was kind of trying to repay that favor, which was awesome because I don't think anyone else on that grid, the other 34 drivers, give a crap.
Nope.
So
they don't.
I think Crafton even tried to fight somebody afterwards too.
Yeah, he and Austin Wayne Self were doing some funnies.
They were doing stuff in the trucks, but no one tried to fight each other after that.
Austin Wayne Self being an idiot? Who could have called that?
Yeah. Haley Deegan was on Door Bumper Clear, and she talks a little bit about the truck race and how it was very much what we expect from the truck series, and everyone was bouncing off each other.
Because the trucks put on some great racing.
Yeah.
Like, just from a race
Some
car standpoint.
Some of those late 2000s, early 2010s truck races were some of the best NASCAR races that have ever happened.
Oh yeah,
They're just so good.
That was the era where my dad and we looked forward to truck races more than anything else, like every weekend. Like trucks at Daytona used to be the best race of the year.
Friday night after school, I would go to Speed Channel and I would immediately try to find where and when the truck race was starting.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, don't do that to me. I'll cry. Don't do that to me. That's messed up.
But obviously, major kudos to Zane Smith, not just dumping the crap out of Parker to win a race. Like, again, half the truck field would probably do, if not
very
more.
good racing, and I gained a lot of respect for Zane Smith. That was impressive.
Yeah. Parker did awesome. Thank you, Parker, for my $12 that I won. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, Henderson winning. It was cool too because that having a truck race that's independent of the Cup Series. Obviously, they have the modified pit stops, so they pretty much brought people right that work with the team that are friends of the team owner, and I forget the crew chief and the employee guy's name. Is it Chris Carrier? Why is that name coming to mind?
I think Chris Carrier's right.
But that was really cool. Obviously, this team's won before. They won at Talladega in 2017 with Parker.
Also with Parker,
2018.
Yeah, 2018.
2018. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's obviously really cool, and hopefully the team can get funding to run full time. As long as Parker's sponsors don't drop out on him at the 9th hour, 11th hour.
Yeah, the crew chief was Chris Carrier.
Yes! Look at me, big braining it up in here. And by big brain, I mean having fish brain and being able to remember things. Davey, do you want to get one more scream in before we move on? You got anything else to say?
I screamed a lot on Saturday, and I lost my voice.
Okay.
And I screamed a little bit just now, and my voice is
We're all good
doing
then.
a thing. We're good. We're good on streaming, but I just want to say, sports hasn't brought me that much joy in a very long time. I've watched like soccer games where we beat our rivals, and that's always really good. And that's a huge amount of joy. But I like NASCAR, like being a Ryan Preece fan, a Parker Kligerman fan these last 2 weeks, or last like few weeks. I mean, I thought I had used up all my motorsports fanhood luck being a Jimmy Johnson fan, and it's nice to know that I didn't. It's nice to know I can still celebrate being a Ryan Preece and Parker Kligerman fan. Let me tell you, good times. And my dad was ecstatic too. He was friggin' going crazy. He was texting me and stuff. That was awesome. It's so cool. Anyway, I'm happy boy.
I didn't watch F1. I decided to sleep in, so I don't really have notes. I know Ferrari did a funny with the power plant going brr. I know that was really exciting. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it. I have it in our notes. This is obviously we go unedited. F1.
I didn't watch F1. I was asleep.
Me neither.
All right. Hear that, Formula One? You're no longer part of the Fake Racers podcast.
You will be some other time though when we can watch it.
U.S. Grand Prix. SRX was in Nashville. Joseph Newgarden actually led the field to the green. Won the first heat. Did really good.
Really cool.
In stock cars, fendered cars, whatever you want to say. And Bobby Labonte won the main event, finally. Redemption.
Yeah, Bob.
I don't know why I said redemption.
And like that wasn't an amazing race, but that was the kind of race where SRX like shows what it is. It was really good. A lot of guys from all these. I mean, it's been that the whole time, but like Joseph Newgarden, a current IndyCar star,
right?
It's a little bit different than like Elio Castroneves, who I understand won the Indy 500, but is on the other side of his driving career.
Tony Kanaan,
again, also on the other side of his driving career, in my opinion.
And then obviously there's a lot of the other guys, but
it's just really cool. A current IndyCar star mixing it up with some of these heroes of motorsport. It was cool. I loved it. That's why I love SRX with stuff like that. And Booby Labooney. Cool to see him in victory lane. All right. Yep. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Did you not watch it, Matthew?
I was busy.
Okay.
He was racing.
I'm just, maybe he found the phone. I do think TV-wise this year, the show's been a lot cleaner. Don't know if I like that. Because I feel like we're missing out on some of the stories that we got last year that we're not. Like, we have barely had anything about the local hero driver. I feel like that's not been as big of a... Again, I think the promotion for the series this year has been awful compared to last year, and I know part of that was hype, but if you had the hype, you shouldn't have had to promote it as much as you did, and you did. Don't know if it's a money thing, if whatever it may be, but I don't know. I think that kind of sums up my feelings about SRX. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. I don't know how it stays on CBS if it doesn't pull in better numbers than what it has this year. You gotta be over 1 million. And I don't think they've made that mark yet, which is disappointing. Which is unfortunate, disappointing, because the product is definitely worthy of good TV ratings. But I don't know. I don't know where the lack. People saying that people are actually going out this year because of the pandemic and stuff. People
were doing that last year.
Yeah, that's a chicken argument, but bless you.
Thank you.
I'll make sure the witches don't get your body because your soul is escaping when you sneeze.
I appreciate it.
Did you sneeze again? Bless you.
No, I just
Oh, bless you. God bless you, David. God bless you.
You don't have to sneeze to be blessed.
Threw my body into whack. I'm a little off kilter now.
My circadian rhythm's all off now.
So SRX is fun. Cool to see Bobby Labonte
my
win.
Circadian rhythm.
I think Matt Kenseth is running the next 2 weeks too. That's cool. I think Bobby is the points leader now too. I think he overtook Brian Newman.
That's cool.
Tony Stewart had an awful race and probably might be out of the points championship, so that's cool. Because it was kind of weird Tony win the title last year, not gonna lie. Did Tony drive the 14 or the 20 last year? My brain says 20, but I know it was 14, but it was orange, it wasn't red.
I thought he ran the 20. Hang on.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Those are semantics. Do we have any SRX picks for this weekend? We'll just kind of get them out of the way while we're right here, so we're not wasting as much time when we get to the end.
Michael Waltrip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Marco again because he's finished second 2 weeks in a row.
Ken Schrader, baby, he gonna get it done on the dirt and off.
Also, I was wrong. Stewart did run the 14 last season.
Was it an orange car though?
It was orange. Yeah.
Okay. That's where the brain go burr. So yeah, SRX. Tyler Reddick slid on in to a press conference today. He slid into press conference like the people try to slide into my DMs all the time. Wink, wink. That was awful. Deal is for 2020.
Not your best work, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, honestly, this show is not my best work, but a deal for 2024. It was weird when RCR only picked up his extension for 2023. Initial thoughts. What a weird way to announce this, by the way.
Yeah, he just kind of showed up. Did you say what actually? I don't think you said that it was already going to 2311.
Okay, I got
but
this.
He
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I don't want to.
Okay, you fill in the gaps. Okay, we're gonna do this together here.
Joe, I need you to quit the fucking performance art. We gotta figure this out.
I'm not gonna bleep that.
If you want.
No,
okay,
I'm not.
Good.
I'm good with it.
Good.
Less editing.
Good. Good.
So 2311, Denny Hamlin, they're kind of having like a mid-season press conference type thing, kind of talking about how the year's gone so far, what they're happy about, what they're disappointed in, and blah, 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 blah. Media, they open it up for questions. Media people ask questions. All of a sudden, Tyler Reddick's name appears on screen. They make a joke about him being in the wrong press conference. He exits off from his cell phone, and then all of a sudden, he's right next to Denny Hamlin. Denny's like, yeah, I'd like to announce that Tyler's going to drive for us in 2024. I got the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
Very weird. I thought it
was kind of cool.
I mean, it was cool. It was cool in the fact that it was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird, though. I mean, it was weird. It can be weird and cool at the same time.
Yeah.
I guess.
But Tyler Reddick, 2311. Denny had talked about how if Kurt wants to keep driving, they're not going to force him out. I didn't see any comments about Bubba, which worries me as a fan.
Yeah, I get that. I
But also not really.
When Denny was on Dale's podcast, he talked about how 3 was a sweet spot for teams right now. 3
Mhm.
cars per team was a sweet spot. So it gives me a little bit of faith heading into this silly season, the next one.
Yeah.
That might be just be a 3rd car. I was thinking maybe potentially buying one of Gibbs' charters if they go back to 3 teams, which I don't know if that'll happen, but
So there's this misconception that 2311 buys their cars from Gibbs, like just straight up buys them from Gibbs, and Gibbs tells them everything. According to the NASCAR rulebook, no. They really can't, and from what Denny Hamlin has said, NASCAR is very diligent in making sure that is not the case.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that
Yeah.
agreement before.
I just like to always bring it up whenever we talk, when we bring
Yeah.
Joe Gibbs Racing into a 2311 discussion, like we did last week with the pit crews.
For those not up to date with their Fake Racers podcast lore, obviously.
It's the lore is very important. Did you know Matthew hasn't been on the show for its entirety? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
what?
We haven't always had a video element to our shows.
What?
Anyway.
What was that?
A train.
Yeah, it's some guy on a motorcycle going by. So.
Nah, train.
Train.
But sounds like Kurt and Bubba should be okay. Like you said, I don't know where they get the charter from. Joe Gibbs, maybe? I don't know.
As a parting gift,
It's a parting gift.
Gets the 11 car charter.
Because Rick Ware sold off the 2 that they had. Technically, the one that they had and then the one they shared with Petty. Ganassi got out of the sport completely. Trackhouse wants to get a charter, it seems. Justin Marks wants another charter. I don't know where he's going to get it from.
Yeah.
Does
Trackhouse only have one? Oh no, they have Ganassi's too.
Yep, they have the 2. But with the Project 91 car and a bunch of other things, which the Project 91 car, it's not gonna be based. It sounds like the business plan for that car, and I know this is not anywhere near what we're talking about, and I'm getting way off track, but deal with it.
It's all ripple effects. It's all good.
Yeah, so the Project 91 car, it seems like a lot of what will take care of the expenses of that car is the driver that you're bringing in. Merchandise, sponsorship, that type of stuff, right? You're going to be bringing in Kimi Räikkönen this year. You're going to be I would assume Elio Castroneves you're going to bring in next year for the 500. I mean, it's all these things, right?
Yeah.
And maybe trying to get a charter for that, running that car full time might be beneficial. Maybe not. I don't know. There's also obviously a discussion about NASCAR adding charters, and this just adds more to the landscape. Again, 2024 is a couple years away. When does the charter agreement up?
2025, right?
That's the number that always comes to my head. So, I mean, right before that, they could always run a car for Kurt part-time as an open team and make most races without even having to qualify, and would probably still qualify. So,
charter agreement runs out at the end of 2024, by the way. I just looked up to verify.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Right after they're going to add Tyler Reddick to the fold. So, a thought that popped into my head as we're talking is maybe they buy a charter this offseason. Open up a 3rd team, start it. You put Ty Gibbs in the car for select events. You put, maybe Trevor Bayne gets in there for a couple of races. Maybe, you get some different guys in there. You use it as like an all-star car. Whatever happens with Ty happens going into 2024, and Tyler takes that seat. If Kurt isn't ready to hang up the wheel, which I really think he will be after next year.
Yeah.
Because we've been saying he's going to retire the last, 6 different contracts, it seems like. I mean, gosh, people were saying he should retire after 2011, so...
The year he doesn't get his, one regularly scheduled win is probably the year that he retires. So if he keeps this up, he's, just going to keep going, so...
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, the economics of the... Yeah, because the economics of the sport are now more readily available for people than ever before.
Yeah, and as we come up to what I assume would be a renewal of the charter agreement, obviously there might be some changes to contracts in terms of money and stuff, but more or less there should be. I wonder what that does to the cost of charters as we move closer to that date, how they fluctuate, what that's going to mean for these teams. Will they go up and down? Will they go only down? Will they go only up? I have to, obviously, as we hear more rumblings about what those contracts are going to look like, which I'm sure we will at some point, that'll become more clear. But I'm really intrigued to see what happens with that.
What I'm wondering is, like, how do we think this is going to go for Reddick? Because
that's a can of worms.
This is my hot take. I'm not going to say it's a downgrade, but I don't know if this is as big of an upgrade as everybody thinks it is.
Well, look at Bubba Wallace, right?
Yeah.
Would you really say the move to the 23 has been an upgrade over the 43? The results don't say so, but again, I've been in the camp that Eric Jones is a better race car driver at this moment than Bubba Wallace.
That's the thing that like gives me trepidation about this is like 2311's struggling to get both of their cars, running solid complete races. And then now you're trying to throw a third car in there.
Yeah, so and we don't know if they're throwing a third car in there.
Again, well, if that's the speculation.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Be careful because the 45 has been a lot better than the 23. They've put together a lot of races.
Yeah.
Probably at least half, I would say. They've put together half of the races, which by all accounts of what this year has been like is pretty good. It gets you top 16 in the points, which I think has to count for something. So, and that's not playoff wins. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're top 16 in points. I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah. But it's important. It's important to look at the 23 and the 45 teams right now as very different entities. As we move throughout the summer, the 23 is going to be in a must-win situation. The 45 is going to be in a points race situation.
He's also currently 16th in points. You were right.
So top 16 in points. I got it, man. Yeah. I don't know. Just be careful. Be careful about how we look at 2311. Careful.
Yeah. It's more of just like a sense of frustration, where it's like this team has so many resources and so much money, and Bubba Wallace is behind. And not all of it's to his driving. They have probably the worst pit crew in the Cup Series.
Now the 20 team does.
Yeah. Well, he did. Now the 20 team does, but Bubba's behind Chris Buescher, Justin Haley, and Michael McDowell in points.
I mean, the 20 team had the worst crew before the
whatever. His pit crew sucks. That's the only point that matters.
Yeah, they're not top 10. That's for sure.
Yeah. Eric Jones is 7 spots ahead of him in points in the car that he left, and I'm not saying he made a bad career decision by leaving.
Yeah,
RPM
you gotta be careful. People gotta be careful with saying that.
2311's potential is a lot higher than RPM's, and
that's not RPM anymore. Remember,
Joe, shut up! Oh my God, shut the fuck up! Holy crap!
Petty GMS, baby. I'm gonna be petty up in here.
Whatever Richard Petty's deciding to call his team this week.
Joe Semantic Tawansky.
I don't remember what I was going to argue.
Oh my God! This whole show, you've been Joe Semantic Tawansky. Holy crap! Relax.
Tyler Reddick's ahead of both 2311 cars in points. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Thank you.
Goodness freaking gracious!
Where's Austin Dillon?
He's P20.
Okay, so he's ahead of the 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happens with RCR. They were upset. I know that.
That tweet was.
I would be too.
Yeah, but that tweet was a bit ridiculous.
I mean, it was, but
that read like a. And I said that read like an NR 2003 team that took itself too seriously, posting about it on Facebook.
Yeah. That and Reddick said about it was weird too.
Yeah, they knew it was coming, right? He said something along those lines.
He said it shouldn't be. He said it shouldn't have been a surprise to RCR, which isn't as weird.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out like what that implies.
The fact that they wouldn't extend him to what he's worth. It's very obvious that he's worth more than whatever his current contract is.
Well, so wait, when did they sign his extension?
They announced it last week.
Was it really last?
Yes.
See, that's what weirded me out. Is I was like, I swear he just signed a contract extension with RCR.
Yeah, I think it might have been before Road America, but I'm pretty sure it was after. And it's not signing an extension; it's they picked up his option for next year. Which we'll get to picking up options here in a couple minutes, but I don't know what the outlook for RCR is. Right, you got Austin Hill coming up, could probably run well in the Cup Series and has some funding.
Yeah.
Sheldon Creed has been Chevy's little like nurture project. I don't know how to put it, but
nurture project.
He's been up on their development ladder. I feel like he's right there behind Noah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think RC's aiming for Creed or Hill, because I don't think he picked either of those two guys up just with the intention of just run my Xfinity cars.
I mean, he wasn't even picking up Hill in the first place, so just remember that.
Yeah.
That wasn't even going to be Hill's car like a month before the season.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, for example, Sheldon Creed has not had a great year.
No.
But I don't think there's...
Doesn't seem like they're worried about it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody at RCR is looking at Sheldon Creed and being like, oh, this guy's going to be a bust. Because, I mean, look at it. His rookie truck season was not good either. And then overnight, he turned into a super dominant truck series driver. So, and he's only 24. I keep thinking Sheldon Creed's way older than he actually is. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird.
It's weird.
Came out of nowhere.
Came out of left field.
Sorry, I am listening. I'm just checking Twitter to make sure we haven't missed anything today.
Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Well,
the next thing that we talked about is done for now.
It's done? Is there what else happened? Was it just
nothing else happens? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It's nothing has happened. It's done for now. We are.
Right. Well, let's get to it. Because the speculation has been rampant around defending IndyCar Series champion.
Alex Palou, baby.
Was it literally last week, I think, that we talked about how Palou wasn't going anywhere?
Ganassi said the same thing 6 hours ago.
I can't believe it, man.
So earlier today, Chip Ganassi Racing announced that they had signed Alex Palou to an extension. I don't know if they put years on it. I think they just put extension. Again, that's common in motorsports for that type of stuff not to necessarily be mentioned in these releases. Start dates usually are, but end dates aren't. They had their little press release. They had a quote from Chip Ganassi. They had a quote from Alex Palou. And then did the Palou tweet come before the press release or after the press release?
It came before the McLaren one.
Okay, so Alex Palou then says, "Hey, I never said that. LOL, this is the first time I'm hearing about this extension. JK, ha ha ha, funny, LOL, not coming back." And then he said something really snarky about looking forward to finishing out the year with Chip Ganassi Racing. Or something about I haven't lost respect for the people that work here. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
It was something weird.
Here, I have his tweet pulled up right now.
All right, you got the thread? Because it's a thread.
Which is funny because it started out of tweet 1 of 2 and then ended up being 2 of 3 after that. So it ended up being longer than he initially intended. It says, I've recently learned from the media that this afternoon, without my approval, Chip Ganassi Racing issued a press release announcing that I would be driving with CGR in 2023. Even more surprising was that CGR's release included a quote which did not come from me. I did not approve that press release, and I did not author or approve that quote. As I have recently informed CGR, for personal reasons, I do not intend to continue with the team after 2022. This evening's unfortunate events aside, I have great respect for the CGR team and look forward to finishing this season strongly together. So he says that. That was at my time, 4 p.m. And then literally 8 minutes later, McLaren announces that he is signing with them.
With McLaren Racing.
Yes. and tweeted from the McLaren F1 Twitter page. So
He will be testing the McLaren F1 car with Pato O'Ward and Colton Herta.
I was going to mention that too. Herta tested a McLaren F1 car very recently too.
Sounds like McLaren might have a new F1 lineup? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know how that works, but...
Yeah, so Ricardo has been not good.
No, I know that. I know that part,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know if they have the points to have the... What is this? It's a super license,
super
right?
license, yeah. Let's take a look.
We've done this before, where like an IndyCar championship means a lot.
Yeah, it's essentially... It's on par with Formula 2, I believe.
Yeah, so he'd be right there with points, I would assume, but nonetheless, Chip Ganassi Racing having egg on its face is always going to be funny to me for some reason. It
That's
shouldn't
the Penske
be.
fan in you.
Yeah, probably. Not something you expect from that team.
No. Yeah, I don't know what a little confused as to what it like. I'm not confused as to the situation. Confused as to what the hell is going on. Something had to have happened. Something weird is happening.
Yeah. Especially coming off a championship, too.
Well, I think it's more so, I think Palou, the way he said it's personal reasons, I think he wants to go to F1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what race car driver doesn't want to go to the highest form of their motorsport? And IndyCar is not the highest form of open wheel racing.
According to a lot of people, AJ Allmendinger. Heyo, that's another callback.
Enjoying what you do and aspiring to be at the top of what you do are two different things, unfortunately.
Fair point.
Rarely, if you're the champion of something, do you enjoy the climb to the championship. But, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Would assume Alex Palou will be in an F1 car next year.
Wouldn't be surprised.
The thing that gets me about it is just how, like, I want to know what the truth is. Because, like...
Somebody somewhere on the chain of command just jumped the gun on releasing something. They were probably in talks with him about an extension. Someone probably started drafting the article and the press release, and it hit send somewhere.
Yeah.
Or someone got angry, or... It's more than likely a mistake. I don't think it's done with any malintent. I would at least hope not. You know, these are pretty professional organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just...
It's just where the confusion comes from me is because, like, you have Ganassi's side where they're like, we had a contract in place, and Palou's like, that never happened. So it's like, okay, clearly somewhere in the middle, the truth is there, because somebody high up in CGR had to think at some point that Palou had a contract in place. And how did they get that impression if it just flat out wasn't true? You know?
And this isn't like sports where a team can just pick up an option on a player.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, you're going to keep playing for us. Usually with these options, both have to pick it up. I think probably like Tyler Reddick's case, it probably was RCR had the right to pick it up or not, and he has to deal with it. But a lot of times with racing, it's both sides have to come to an agreement on the option, and then you know, negotiate in good faith and blah 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 blah. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means for the Aero team. We know Rossi's going to be there. We know Pato's going to be there. At least we think we do. We think he will be.
Should be, I'd assume.
We know Felix Rosenquist is going to be doing something McLaren related. So,
man,
I know before the show started, someone was saying Arenas VK to the 10,
Could be a good pick.
which
it's interesting.
would make sense, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure Jack Harvey wishes he would have waited a year. Because that Ray Hall thing is not going well.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Ooh.
Shout out to Hy-Vee for being this year's Carvana.
Yikes.
Without the big talent, like the big name brand driver. Yeah.
Yeah, and Husky Chocolate too.
Yeah.
Man.
Shout out to Husky Chocolate for
I'm
winning.
still so mad about that.
I'm very upset.
The biggest race in North America, and if not the world, and just not selling to the market in which the race is held.
They don't even ship to Finland, which is literally right next door.
They really don't. The website tells all.
Oh, they've added a banner to their website. It says available in Sweden and Norway, rest of the world coming soon.
Did we?
Oh my god.
Wait, did we get Husky Chocolate to send their product around the world?
I am choosing to take all credit for this.
We could have. I'm down to start that rumor.
Oh my god.
The official United States supplier of Husky Chocolate.
Wait,
he's gonna be clipping this so quickly once the show's posted.
I'm gonna see. Okay, so they have their apparel store. I'm gonna see. Oh my god, they ship their clothing to more. They ship their merch to more places than they do their actual product.
That makes sense.
So if you live in Poland, you can buy a Husky Chocolate shirt, but you can't actually buy the product itself.
I'm so mad.
This is infuriating.
I want Husky Chocolate.
I want to try it.
I want to be sponsored by Husky Chocolate.
Anyways, to sum up the Alex Palou stuff, we want Husky Chocolate.
If we get sponsored by Husky Chocolate, do you know how happy I'll be?
You don't even have to sponsor us. Just send us like a bottle.
A bottle.
Just one. I don't even need an entire crate. Just send me one.
I'll take a crate. Give me some stickers.
I mean, I would I'd like a loot box, but if you can't for logistics,
dude, a Husky Chocolate loot box.
Got a little die cast in it.
Yeah. A Husky Chocolate scarf.
I will 100% shill.
Would you hang it up with your other scarves?
Oh yes, I would. It'd be right behind me.
Yeah.
As long as our relationship with Husky Chocolate continues, Husky Chocolate, we don't sell to you. That's their tagline.
But yeah, to sum up the Alex Palou stuff, that weekend preview. Speaking of IndyCar is back.
What if that's why he's leaving? Is because he's seeing the logos on their cars, and he's like, "Hey, Chip, can I get some Husky?" And they're like, "No,
idiot, stupid. No, of course not."
But F1 races in Europe where it is available to buy.
You're onto something.
Oh yeah,
we figured it out.
We've put the pieces together in the puzzle.
I'm on.
Matt, you're a genius. I'm gonna tweet at Alex Palou right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just like you, buddy. Me and you were the same. We just want Husky Chocolate.
Husky Chocolate sponsors the McLaren F1 team. I just realized. Oh my god.
I'm telling you, we did it. We figured it out.
We put all the pieces together.
Can't wait for this to be the title of the show.
Oh my god.
We're back hooked on Husky Chocolate.
I feel like that should be worth at least some free merch for me putting all those together.
Husky, I need you to make a little graphic. Like a little, the meme. Where he's like, I forget. Is it from
the
Arrested
Development? The only one.
Is it Arrested Development? Where it's the board.
The red lines on the wall. Yeah.
Is that from that show?
Pepe Sylvia from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, okay.
Where he's connecting all the dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll make that after this.
Okay.
Husky Chocolate. It's the whole Husky Chocolate's driving the sports economy right now.
They really are.
But IndyCar is back on the streets of Toronto this weekend on Peacock exclusively. So I know folks are going to complain about that again. If
you're playing the fake racers drinking game, there's another one for you. Joe talking about Peacock.
Joe liking Peacock as a service.
Man, I had a hard time finding a NASCAR a stream for the not a stream, but I had a hard time
like I said,
legally streaming the NASCAR race this past weekend than I did any IndyCar race this year. So,
ba bing ba boom. What you doing, NASCAR? What you doing, NBC? Figure it out.
Missed out on a legitimate viewer by doing that, boys.
Let's not admit to that on tape, please.
I don't care. You made it hard for me to watch your race. I'm gonna watch it a different way.
But IndyCar is in Toronto. It would make all the sense in the world if Alex Palou won this weekend. I believe he's up there. He's up there in the points. Needs a win. Hasn't won yet this year. To kind of break up the Penske / Ericsson dominance at the top of the standings. I believe Will Power took the points lead.
Ericsson's still in the
got
points
it.
lead.
Ericsson got it back. That's right.
Palou's P4. Yep.
And then it's Power Newgarden.
Power Newgarden, Palou, Pato Award. Yep.
Okay, so, I'm gonna pick Joseph Newgarden to win, though.
Willpower.
Give me Marcus Ericsson then.
We suck.
It's about winning.
NASCAR. Yeah, it's about winning the thing we don't keep track of. It's about winning. Yeah, it is, Matthew. Yeah,
you may have given up, but I'm still going for it.
He said, "We suck."
Speak for yourself.
NASCAR is up in New Hampshire this weekend with Xfinity and Cup and Wheel and Modified Racing. Although we're not picking the modified race because...
Understandable. As much as I like modifieds.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta.
Rant about New Hampshire real quick.
This makes me think things might happen.
Go ahead.
No.
New Hampshire as a state has like 5 feet of coastline, but yet their flag has a clipper ship on it.
Deal with it, scrub.
It makes me so mad.
Obviously, this track, if we're playing the prediction game, Gateway comes to mind. Maybe a little bit of Richmond.
We're talking about all silly season stuff. We picked top 3 in IndyCar points, and then we're like, all right, to the Cup Series, and we're going to pick Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and Kurt Busch.
But Gateway, Richmond, Phoenix. One guy that was quick at all of them was Ryan Blaney. Chase Briscoe. Ross Chastain.
Are we picking Cup first?
Kyle Busch. No, we're picking Xfinity. I'm just naming off Cup drivers. I didn't know if you were looking up an entry list because I know you take this super serious.
No, I already got
All right, who you picking?
I got an entry list. Landon Castle.
All right. Give me Sheldon. Or no. Yeah, no, I'll take Sheldon Creed. Give me him.
Shit, give me your best Vince Welch Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed!
Thank you.
Splits the deuce! All right.
I did that today.
We have left the rails. I don't want to do this. I'm going to.
Just take Ty Gibbs already.
No, I'm taking Trevor Bayton.
Oh, okay.
I think he's in this race. I think he's in the 18 this week.
It'd be a bold pick if he wasn't.
I'll just take whoever's in the 18 then.
Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting what I'm.
No one
doing.
picked William Byron, by the way, who's running the 88 this weekend, or any JRM guys.
I thought about taking Josh Berry, but then I accidentally said Sheldon Creed, and I was like, well, I guess that's my pick. Also, Bane is in the 18. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then Cup.
Ooh, who did I? You know what? Max Chaos, Ross Chastain. Let's go.
Chaos.
He says. Gonna dump Denny Hamlin for a 4th time this season.
And Denny will still do nothing.
Sure, he's got some banger tweets lined up.
Chris Buescher.
Not bad.
Ooh, that's good. Especially coming off the fact that he didn't race at Gateway.
Correct. Fresh set of eyes, baby.
Exactly. I'm gonna take Ryan Blaney because he's got to win his race. He's got to win his race. He has to do it before the playoffs.
He'll win Daytona. Don't you worry about it.
But that's this week's show. It was a fun show. We hope you enjoyed it. We're almost at an hour, and we're at an hour 14 minutes. So thanks for watching, guys. Davey,
thanks for doing it.
Davey, social media. Any social media?
Yeah. Yeah, it's you'll
D7H5
there you go.
or D7H5, Davey
Yeah,
Hazard.
you'll see it of it. If you want it, you find it and go on and get it. Come on now.
Matthew can be found at msteelman51, the _, unofficial. Is it another underscore?
I literally uninstalled Instagram off my phone, so don't expect anything.
msteelman51 on Twitter is
Yeah.
also going to co-host Oof Sides this football season. Hot psych. I don't see that coming back. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
But he hates Deshaun Watson, so that's pretty baller. Anyways, folks, cannot thank you enough for watching. Bristol, appreciate you. There's his pause. Bristol, can you say hi real quick? Bristol. Hey. He picked his head up.
Man.
You can
He's
see
like, what do you want?
nose.
He's like, dude, I'm trying to sleep.
Lord.
And he just laid back down.
But guys, as always, cannot thank you enough for watching this week, listening, however you do. We'd appreciate it if you dropped a like, a review, comment, whatever. Give us those interactions. We appreciate them as always. We like to continue.
Draw more Mickey Mouse ears on Joe while you're at it.
God, what? I didn't want to talk about that, man. I was like, what?
That was funny as hell. Ooh.
But as always, cannot thank you enough for watching, and we will see you guys next week right here on the Fake Racers Podcast.
I stole it.